Hi everybody, welcome to current events for Friday, April 30th, the last day of April. Also, the last day I will be reading current events on the video. Starting next week, we'll have current events after supper on Thursday nights when the Decorah Public Opinion comes out. So, that'll be way more fun. And I think we're going to start out with the 2 obituaries for people who've passed in recently here. So, if I can find them, I think it was in the public opinion. No, I'm not going to find them. Here they are. Okay. So we've got the obituary for Mary Lou Lynch and the obituary for Janice Helgeson that we'll read now. Mary Lou Moen Lynch, 94 of Decorah, passed away peacefully on Sunday, April 18th at Asahaugen, with her family by her side. Mary Lou was born July 24th, 1923 in Decorah to Gerald and Ida Larson Moen. She was baptized and confirmed at First Lutheran Church. Mary Lou attended Decorah schools and graduated in 1945. After high school, she attended Western Union in Cedar Rapids and graduated in December 1945. Mary Lou married her high school sweetheart Harry Lynch on January 13, 1946, after he returned from serving in the Army as a corporal in World War II. They purchased their farm in 1951 outside of Decorah and moved to town in 1998. Faith, family, and friends may be a sign we have in our homes, but Mary Lou lived it. They were blessed with 2 sons, Stephen and Tom. In 1958, Janet Held joined the Lynch family at the age of 2 after Mary Lou's sister Huldah passed away, and they raised her as their own daughter. Mary Lou and Harry's lives rotated around their children's school and sporting events, plus hard work on the farm. Mary Lou was a devoted mother, grandma, and great-grandma. She attended every special event. The hundreds of pictures found tucked into books, drawers, and on her walls captured many wonderful memories with family, her beloved 3 sisters, and camping trips with her friends. Mary Lou worked with Harry on their farm for over 45 years, milking cows, raising chickens, pigs, and growing crops. She became known as the Cat Lady, caring for her numerous farm cats. She would be the first one to lend a hand to any neighbor in need and always had a cup of coffee and cookie when you came to the door. She enjoyed volunteering at the hospital, RSVP, and working part-time at Darling's Hallmark store. Mary Lou loved to gather with family and friends, enjoyed dancing, and would rarely turn down a chance to play euchre. Mary Lou and Harry spent many hours square dancing around the area and during Nordic Fest. She enjoyed watching the Hawkeyes, Packers, and Tiger Woods. You knew to never stand in her way of watching the Lawrence Welk Show, but most of all was her love and devotion to her partner Harry. They celebrated their 75th wedding anniversary together in January at Ossie. Mary Lou's faith was her strength and foundation. Washington Prairie was another center of her life, serving in the Welka circles, church events, and teaching Sunday school with Eloise Baca for over 20 years. She loved being with her Washington Prairie friends and neighbors. A special thank you to all the nurses and staff at Asahaugen and Winneshiek County Hospice for the extraordinary care Mary Lou received during her 5-year stay. They became her extended family, especially during this year of COVID-19. Also, thank you to the Schluter-Ballock Funeral Home and Pastor Jennifer Ettinger. Okay, we move on to Janice Helgeson, who also passed away recently here. Janice Helgeson, 79, of Spillville, passed away on Friday, April 23rd, 2021 at Asahaugen Senior Services in Decorah. Janice Carol Helgeson was born Janice Carol Nesset on June 26, 1941, to become the daughter of Helen and Otto and younger sister of Harlan. Janice was doted on by her mom and dad and cherished by her brother. She grew up a bit of a tomboy because her grandpa was a fisherman and an 18-year-old at heart. Janice would be by her father's side when he was doing many of these things. Otto taught her how to fish, pick night crawlers, and tinker on things. Growing up in Decorah, there were plenty of opportunities and fishing holes to return home with stringers full of fish every time they went. Of course, to fish you needed bait, so her dad trained her to be a master of nightcrawler hunting. She took it upon herself to learn how to catch these nightcrawlers with her toes, taking her shoes off and using a flashlight to spot her prey. With lightning speed, she would catch them between her toes and 9 times out of 10 complete her efforts successfully. I have never seen anyone before or after practice this method. To this day, I believe she is the only person in the world to ever attempt such an odd feat. Pun intended. This alone made her very special. As her oldest son, I had the pleasure to experience my mother in her younger years, and I consider that a blessing. I remember one particular weekday after work, I took the Jeep I had just bought to show to her. With the top off, we went for a ride around town from Spillville heading east. I will never forget the look on her face when I surprised her by driving into the ditch to show off the Jeep's capabilities. I learned that day Ma had the ability to pierce eardrums with her screams. She was a fun-loving woman. Another thing she enjoyed was packing the kids up in whatever family vehicle we owned at the time and just driving with the radio up real high. We usually ended up at Grandma's for coffee and cookies and always pulled back into our driveway just before the sun went down. She loves her children, she told me so. When she was away from her children, she was very distracted and didn't have much fun because she wanted to be with her kids. She was always there to lend a helping hand with whatever we needed. For years, Mom and my sister Cheryl would get together at the house and make lefse, hundreds and hundreds. She enjoyed spending time with her daughter. Brother Jeff turned out to be her guardian angel later in life, being there for whatever small task or chore Ma needed to be done. And that never changed, even to her last day. They were 2 peas in a pod. We will miss her and wait until the day we can all be together again. Rest in peace, Ma. All right. Well, those were our 2 obituaries. We're going to move on to the Driftless Journal from this past Tuesday and kind of breeze through it because those were long obituaries. So, slated for construction in 2022, a new Child Development and Discovery Center in Decorah has already been heralded as a model for rural child care facilities across the state of Iowa. The Child Development and Discovery Center was designed with input from local and state experts. In addition to providing daycare for 220 children, the innovative concept stems from a Discovery Center component which will provide revenue to offset costs of facility operations, increase employee pay and benefits, and provide much-needed access to active indoor space for youth. Impetus driving the project is from what Stephanie Fromm, Executive Director of Winneshiek County Development and Tourism, has termed a child care crisis happening right here in the Midwest. The Discovery Center has been made possible through a $760,000 Child Care Investing in Iowa's Child Care grant awarded to the current Sunflower Child Development Center here in Decorah. This is what it's going to look like. I hope they have a lot of nice outdoor spaces to play. But the building itself looks nice. All right. What else do we got here? The farmer's market starts tomorrow, May 1st. Yay. It's always fun to go there and get fresh food and locally produced things. Let's see. Asa Haugen made the paper welcoming back our volunteers when we had our social the other day. So that's nice. We have a few volunteers back helping with a few different things. mainly family visits and hopefully with lots of other things soon. There's like a lot about building and contracting, and I don't think we're going to read that. So we move on to, I think there was a good Echoes of the Past, if I can find it, but I might not find it. I know there's one in the other paper. Let's see if we can find it. Hard to find anything in this paper because it's basically all ads. That's how they're paying for themselves. Okay. Here we go. Echoes of the Past. Wahoo. 1921, 100 years ago, Town's rats are bringing 5 cents per tail. 100 years ago, the big rat extermination campaign put on here by the Decorah Civic Club is gaining momentum. The club is offering 5 cents per tail of rats killed in the city limits of Decorah. The Des Moines Register has joined the fight, offering $100 in prizes to encourage Rat Killing Week throughout the state of Iowa. Hunting rats will soon be a great popular sport. Hopefully not for too long, because, whoa. Okay. Mrs. Richard Greenslade has reported some good luck with her incubator hatch. She now has upwards of 200 young chicks. All right. William B. Langford, a golfing architect of Chicago, arrived in town last week and went over to the grounds of the Decorah Golf Club. He says that a spot at Freeport, which has been picked out by the club, is an ideal spot and would make one of the nicest courses in this part of the state. Langford is preparing a complete set of new plans for the Decorah house. He has laid out a temporary 5-hole course that can be played at once. All that is required is that the dead weeds and grass be raked. All right. Mr. and Mrs. Frank Leach have arrived from Texas. Mr. Leach is taking the position with the Decorah Oil and Gas Company as an expert driller. He is so enthusiastic over the proposition of striking oil here that he will take half of his pay in stock. The company started drilling last week full blast and will operate day and night. I don't know whatever happened with finding oil in Decorah. If you know, please let me know. The Star Theater will be in the place for a fashion and health show put on by the Decorah Coat and Suit Store. The picture contains no plot, and it is an artistic story teaching the result of good corset fitting and also shows the result of buying corsets carelessly. What? Who would do that? The show will be divided into 3 parts. The first part is the fitting of corsets onto 2 ladies. The second has to do with a woman who bought a corset over the counter without a fitting. She had big troubles. The last part of the picture is a fashion show with evening gowns, street costumes, golf suits, hats, and other garments on exhibit on some of America's most beautiful models. The performance is strictly for women and girls over the age of 14. Well, I would have thought you would have gotten more guys in there, but I guess that was 100 years ago. All right. On sale now, ladies' mink chokers made of finest mink skins. Priced at $12.50 at Harold Larson Clothing Store. Okay. The world's greatest heart interest drama, 10 Nights in a Bar Room, is being presented at the local movie house. The manager of the movie theater says, I am presenting a picture that today is playing no longer to longer runs and bigger crowds than to any other picture. It is a picture that runs the gamut of human emotions, humor, thrills, heartthrobs, suspense, the spectacular, the subdued, gripping climax, terrific action, and in fact, every element that makes a satisfying drama. We'll have to find that one for movie day. All right, 1931, 90 years ago, the price of ice was taken up at a convention of ice dealers in Des Moines, and Mr. Rosenthal of this city was in attendance. Some places reportedly charge as much as $1.10 for 100 for ice, with the average price prevailing at 75 cents. Mr. Rosenthal sells the ice for 50 cents 100. His fortune this winter in getting his ice house filled, and will have plenty for all his customers in the months to come. Congratulations to Iowa's pioneer merchant of Decorah, Mr. Ben Baer. He has completed 55 years of continuous business activity in this city. That was in 1931. Give the Luther College authorities the opportunity, and they are certain to do nice and right thing. Their treatment of their Japanese baseball opponents last weekend was courteous and pleasing. The entire college board of nearly 80 members paraded downtown to the Winneshiek Hotel to greet the Japanese and then paraded in their honor at the baseball field. With both teams standing at attention, President Olson gave happy remarks followed by the playing of the Japanese national hymn. It seems to us that friendly contests of this sort do as much to improve international relations as many a long, drawn-out conference of diplomacy. Let's see. Joe Collin from over at Jackson Junction had a very painful accident last Wednesday afternoon while plowing with a tractor. A peg broke and he got off to put another in, and the brakes didn't hold, brushing Joe between the plow and tractor. The lever ran into his thigh above the knee. He is now confined to house for several days. Boy. Okay. Eric Ellingson of Lincoln Township was accidentally killed recently while blasting out stumps with dynamite. Wow. That is not good. Okay, we're moving on to the public opinion. We have the Turkey Valley Prom on the front cover. They've got beautiful dresses and tuxedos. Big news, the Decorah High School is #1 in Iowa, says U.S. News and World Report. Congratulations to them. That is good news. Let's see. The Decorah Chorale is going to have a concert outside. Awake My Soul and Sing. That's good because that's not good to have to sing inside. Luther honors lives lost to racism, xenophobia, and religious intolerance. Luther students, faculty, and staff gather to hold the memory of people murdered due to racism, xenophobia, and religious intolerance, and sang We Shall Overcome recently. That is good that they were able to do that. Okay, all of you members of Decorah Lutheran Church, your Pastor Kowitz is the one who did the religion article for today. Let's see what he has to say. I had 2 experiences last week that reminded me why I am here as the pastor of Decorah Lutheran Church. One happened at the burial of a church member. The other happened as I was talking with a couple about their upcoming wedding. Both experiences reminded me how important it is to stand with people through the ups and downs of life, because we all go through ups and downs in life, but we don't have to go through them alone. My call to Decorah Lutheran Church is to stand with you in your joys and concerns, your hopes and fears. I stand with families at the graves of their loved ones. I stand with a couple when they exchange rings and vow to love each other for a life together. I stand with youth as they explore their faith in confirmation classes. I stand with new parents as they bring their children to the waters of baptism. I stand with children as they take their first bread and wine at communion. I stand with those preparing for or recovering from medical procedures. I stand with people contemplating a change in careers. I stand with the joyful as they celebrate a milestone. I stand with individuals, families, groups, boards and committees, businesses. People could go through all of these experiences alone by themselves, apart from the rest of the world. But we all want to be connected to the rest of the world. We want to share our lives with others and know that we are not alone in our experiences. That's where pastors like me come in. We are here to keep you connected to each other and to God. As you live out your lives this spring, know that the pastors of your community are here to stand with you, whether in our church buildings, in your homes, at a hospital bedside, on the sidelines of a sporting event, in the places you work, or sharing a meal. We are ready to be part of your lives. We acknowledge the importance of life events. We mark them as holy, set aside, and blessed by God. That was Pastor Kowitz. Here's his picture. And his name is Peter. I was talking with a resident yesterday and couldn't remember his name. I thought it was Paul, but that's pretty close to Peter, at least in the Bible. All right, moving on. Luther College Cafeteria to Community Food Donation Program has resumed, which is great, so they don't have to worry about wasting food. They can just share it with people who need it. It's like the big rummage sale weekend here in Decorah, and if you look, there's like literally an entire page of rummage sales and a map of where they are. So, people are out looking for a bargain. Echoes of the past. Pleasing prom frocks have arrived, 1941. 80 years ago, why not be the belle of the ball in one of the charming prom formals fashioned of sheer silk marquisette and Celanese nylon? These frocks have arrived just in time for prom and graduation. Exquisite dance frocks, trimmed with scallop lace bands, dainty ribbon bands, and lovely flowers. The colors are pink, powder blue, aqua, maize, and white. Very reasonably priced at the Mott Company in Decorah. The county crew was out early the other night when a mudslide overcame the pavement on number 9 just beyond the Frankville turnoff. It was caused by some very heavy rain. Some 50 tons or more of the mud was on the pavement, covering it with 2 feet of mud for a distance of more than 250 feet. That's a lot of mud. David Prius, Knut Stalland, Ovi Prius, and Dee Halverson are Decorah's new ping pong champions. They won the title at the first citywide tournament here. 1951, 70 years ago, plans are in the books to erect a bronze replica of the Statue of Liberty in Decorah. Did that happen? And if so, where is it? Because I would like to see that. The Boy Scouts of Winnebago County have started the project. The likeness is between 8 and 9 feet tall and will cost upwards of $300. For the 5th consecutive time, the Decorah merchants must reschedule the popular treasure hunt at the swimming pool area because of inclement weather. A treasure hunt at the swimming pool. Oh, swimming pool area. The new date for the kiddies is April 28th, 1951. 1961, a new type of homeroom program is being introduced at the high school. About 20 homerooms are established with 25 to 30 students in each room. And we all know how fun homerooms were. I don't know. Mine was not fun. All right. North Winneshiek School District voters have backed a plan to construct a new central school in the district by passing a $400,000 bond last week. The recently completed $500,000 Decorah Lutheran Church will be dedicated during a special service on Sunday, April 23rd, 1961. Evacuating their homes in a quick time during times of high water is the concern of residents of the Rosendahl housing development near West Decorah. A group of residents approached the city council the other night to assist them with a program to raise the height of the road in front of their homes. Bob Houlihan represented the group at the meeting. He was a resident here a while ago. Let's see. 1971, the 1971 commencement address at Luther College will be delivered May 23rd by Harold Hughes, U.S. Senator from Iowa. President Farwell made the announcement earlier this week. A proposed Meals on Wheels program is nearing reality here. Volunteers are now being sought in this first attempt to bring the statewide program of food service to Decorah. And we still have it today, so that's great. It's been around for 50 years. 40 years ago, 1981, the city of Decorah may consider selling a portion of the Carl Sund Wayside Park to a group of private investors interested in constructing a racquetball club. The park is a triangular piece of land located between the Upper Iowa River and 5th Avenue near the Leif Erikson Bridge. I don't think that was ever built. Let's see. 1991, 30 years ago, the South Winneshiek Board of Education members, following the advice of the board's attorney, reaffirmed a policy to not allow a prayer or a moment of silence at the May 26 graduation. Prayer has not been allowed in graduation ceremonies at any area schools for the past 2 years because of a state attorney general's opinion advising against it. That was 30 years ago. Decorah's Karen Bolson has earned statewide honors as Iowa's top child care provider. A $5.8 million sports and recreation complex at Luther College is nearing completion. That was 30 years ago. 20 years ago, the city of Spillville will now pay 100% of health insurance for their full-time city maintenance workers. Let's see. Weiss Buick on College Drive is once again offering its April Dutch auction. What is a Dutch auction? If you know, let me know. 2011, 10 years ago, the theme Island Paradise has been selected for the special evening of food, music, and dancing, games, and prizes for persons with disabilities from a 6-county area at the Inwood Ballroom later this month. The flu epidemic reported at Eastern Star Home in recent weeks is now over. The home is reopening for visitors. Wow. Well, that's one good thing about COVID. I'm knocking on some actual wood, but we didn't get the flu this year. Must have been all the masks and hand sanitizer. All right, I think that's going to be it for this week. We'll see you next week, Thursday evening after supper for current events. It's been really nice to be able to keep you up to date on current events through modern technology, but I'm looking forward to doing current events in person with you from now on. Thank you and have a great rest of your day.